Yin's first and second class went by with ease, with Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Genya in her first class, science. She wondered if there were any other Demon Slayer / KNY characters in her class, as she had not been paying attention. If memory serves her right, her memories of her first day of high school were pretty much Shirley. I think it's spelled like that, so I'm guessing. As teachers wouldn't make them do work already on the first day, taking it easy and getting used to the new class was, oh my god, I'm sorry, I yawned, was what she remembered. That was all proven wrong when Yin entered her third class, cooking. Oh, I already mess up this name all the time. Okay, sorry. The teacher was none other than oh my god, but it's Henagazu? No, oh my god. Henuzaka, I think, I don't know. I'm so dead. She usually recognized him as a man who loved his nature blades, as he rambled on about them to Tanjiro Kamino back in the anime. But rather than blades, he was in love with knives. Ooh. Henogazwaka wore a face mask, and rumor had it that he had multiple stitches from an accident, as his face is barely recognized. I'm sorry for all the yawning, guys. We're like 2 minutes in. In reality, that was all a lie. Henogazwaka didn't want people to see his face, so he made up a lie that allowed him to keep on his mask with no trouble at all. Everyone takes their seats at a stool behind each cooking section island. Each island had an oven, working stove. Wait, what? Okay, never mind. Sink, etc. No one here either? Yin eyes start around the sitting students and search for any K and Y characters. That was what she heard the empty stool beside her move, making her look over to see a boy taking the seat beside her. The boy had straight-edged black hair, wavering in different lengths. He had heterochromia, with his right eye being yellow and his left eye turquoise. He wore a white doctor's face mask, as unlike Henogazwaka lied about having an accident to wear his. Obanai, that you know's case, was also given permission. Yin eye-colored eyes widened at none other than Obanai Iguro, one of the Hashira. Wait, if the shut up, phone. Sorry. What if the Hashira are really here? Then that means this morning, the nice fourth year that had showed Yin to her class was Mitsuri Kanroji. Yin sighs in relief. No wonder she seemed so familiar. Then that would mean her friends in the group chat. And the name Gyu? I can't believe it. I was in a group chat with the Hashira. Oh my god, on my mic it said I went over. I'm sorry if it was loud. Hashira all along, and my dumbass didn't recognize till now. Obanai notices Yin. Oh my god. Yin's staring, in which he glances back, making the new girl shriek in fear. Sorry. The frustrated Yin quickly darts her eyes anywhere else, as Hinogazuka starts his lesson. Okay, everyone. Hinogazuka greets the class. Oh my god. I am Mr. Hinogazuka, and this is your cooking class for the year. So you must complete and pass this class. If you want to get enough credit to graduate, so let me begin our first lesson. Lesson already? Yin tells herself. She sits taller up to see past a tall boy sitting in front of her. He's dressed very formally, has his hair with wavy at the ends. Damn it, this guy's so tall. Sighing in defeat of not being able to see in front of the class, Yen just closes her eyes and listens along to what the teacher had said. Beside her, Obanai sees the girl struggling to see past none other. Okay, Muzan Kibutsuji, but does nothing to help as he silently ignores her. Our first lesson, and my favorite, is learning how to use a knife. Mr. Hinogazuka explains, reaching over his kitchen island and taking out a sharp knife, in which he holds it lovingly. Learning how to use a knife? Yen mutters. She knew Hinogazuka was obsessed with naturing blades, but seeing the man obsessed with knives was quite concerning. Now, the proper way to hold a knife is to. Mr. Hinogazuka goes on about holding the knife, then begins talking about its saturation and even origins. Was he turning his cooking class into a history class? After the longest 40 minutes of almost everyone's lives in the class, including Hinogazuka, he then assigned everyone to a task they must complete in order to leave the class. If they don't complete it, that would be a detention with Hinogazuka, as they would probably be stuck hearing his rambles on about knives. Their task was to cut as many carrots into pieces, as they were going to be used up the cooking club to be next into soup for those in need. I can't read. With everyone finished washing their hands, it was time to cut some carrots. Yin held her knife on her right, feeling the cold plastic black hilt. This is kind of scary. A female student says several stations away from Yin. What if I cut something else other than the carrot? Hinogazuka, who is walking around and inspecting the students' work recipes. You can't go back, can you? Better be careful then. Yin blinks at Hinogazuka's words. What type of school is this? The high school she graduated from was absolutely normal. This one was clearly insane. In the situation in front of Yin, she could hear the students exclaim in awe. That's so cool. That's so cool, Muzan. Wait, you're Hinogazuka. Check out this, how fast Muzan can cut this. The male student points at the tall boy sitting in front of Yin. Ignoring the noise around her, Yin focuses only on her knife and carrot. She carefully cuts the carrot into pieces, and so far so good. Beside her, Obanai aces at cutting his carrots into pieces. Just as Yin is about to finish cutting, she felt a slight shove from her back, making her hand slip and being cut by her knife. Her index finger and middle finger were both bleeding and had slight cuts on them, yet there was blood pouring a lot. She whips her head around to see no one who could have done this to her. Oh, was all the girl let out? Who was that? Moments pass by as Yin continues to scan the class, ignoring the cut on her finger. Obanai, who was busy working on his cuts, noticed that the sounds of Yin's cutting stopped. Why are you standing there and gawking about? Get back to... Obanai's eyes fell on the bloody mess. What are you doing? Go to the sink! Obanai's stern voice snapped the bleeding girl out of her thoughts. Sorry. Teacher, a student from Yin's left situation explains, witnessing the bloody mess. This girl just cut herself. Everyone's eyes fell on Yin, gasping and whispering. Obanai stares at the bloody mess in annoyance. Hinoagazuka just sighs, walking over to his desk to write up a nurse's note. How are you so calm? The entire class screeches at the teacher. I just knew a student was bound to cut themselves. Hinoagazuka shrugs. Happens every year. The students fell over at their teacher's response. Meanwhile, Yin stands over the sink with a frantic running in daze. Muzan Kibutsuji turns around and sees the messy scene. His face was expressionless. You clearly deserve it if you aren't going to pay attention, Obanai tells the girl, voice cold. But none of Obanai's words reached Yin. She was pale in horror, but it wasn't from the loss of blood from being cut or anything. It was because of a terrifying discovery she had just made. That was when the conditions of her creepy letter rushes through her mind. Rule 3. Cheating is allowed, as long as you aren't caught. But mind you, we are watching your every move. But what does it mean by cheating as long as I'm not caught? Her eyebrows furrowed. I didn't even know that what I did was considered cheating. What is considered cheating? But that means someone is watching me right now. Yin's eyes dart around the classroom for anyone suspicious. All eyes were on her, yet she couldn't tell who could have pushed her. Obanai's eyes trailed off to where Yin was looking. What is she looking at? It's a dream. The cut doesn't even hurt that bad. Yin takes a deep breath in. When she realizes with a sigh, it has to be I watched too much Demon Slayer before sleeping, and that's why I'm so jumpy. While Yin, distracted, Hinogazuka finishes writing the nurse's note before making his way over to her and Obanai. You, Iguro, take Lin to the nurse's office, Hinogazuka says, placing the note on Obanai's side of the kitchen island. You two are excused for the day. Obanai just stares at the note before letting out a tisk. He walks out of the class with Yin, following hesitantly. She was still eyeing the class, but in the end, nothing. There was no one who seemed suspicious. Once they were gone, the entire class fell silent, not knowing what to do. ... Hey, what are you all slacking off for? Mr. Hinogazuka grabs the class's attention. Get back to work. What? Is this man for real? The class falls over at Hinogazuka's orders, but have no other choice if they don't want to be stuck in detention with him. This time, they were all slow and careful at cutting. Meanwhile, after seconds of leaving their third class, Yen looks down at her finger that was cut. The tissue was stained with dark red. The hallway was silent, as the only sound were Obanai and Yin's footsteps. The awkward silence, the unbearable, considering the fact that Obanai was only a work of fiction, walking beside Yin. Maybe Obanai had seen who pushed her. Did you by chance saw who pushed me? Yin asked nervously. Obanai's presence in the anime was intense, but walking beside him now just nerved weak reckoning. When we were cutting the carrots? Pushed you? Obanai repeats. He didn't even bother to recall anything from his memory. All he knew was that it was a waste of time and energy. You're hallucinating. Oh, Yin looks down at her feet. Sorry, it's just that I knew somebody pushed me when that happened. So annoying. Obanai my god, murmurs. Do you think that I want to help someone like you? Sorry. Yen looks down at her feet. You apologize too much. Just shut up, Obanai sternly says, making Yen's nerves. Yeah. She gulped. He sure is harsh, just like the anime. Yen's eyes insecurably move upwards towards Obanai's face. She studies his features. Compared to the anime, Obanai was more and drawn in anime-ish. Whereas, in fact, in front of her, Obanai had realistic facial features. His dark black hair touches the tips of his shoulders, while the side of his hair touches his cheekbone. She couldn't help but stare at one of Obanai's distinct features, his heterochromic eyes, one turquoise on his left and one yellow one on his right. Obanai notices the pair of eyes looking at him. He looks down at Yin, who stares at him with glitter eyes. They're pretty, Yin blurts out without realizing what? Obanai blinks. He swiftly takes a step away from the girl, making her break away from her trance. Oh, sorry. Yin's eyes dart away from the boy, who only glanced at her. Sorry, I didn't mean to say sorry again. Fuck. I didn't mean to apologize again. Annoying, Obanai says. His words come out as a mere whisper. Yin tilts her head. I'm sorry, what was that? Yin clasped her hands over her mouth. Her face was now red. She didn't want Obanai to scold her for saying sorry so much. She glances up at the boy, whose piece suddenly picked up. That was when the nurse's assistant, Shinobu Kocho, comes walking out with a clipboard. Oh, Obanai and Yin, Shinobu exclaims with a smile. Shinobu! Yin grins, taking her hands off her mouth. Finally, she was saved. At least she would have to be a nervous wreck. At least she didn't have to be a nervous wreck walking with Obanai anymore. You know my name? Shinobu looked a little confused at how a first year could have already known her name, especially since they've never introduced themselves properly. Did Obanai tell you? Yin stutters. She almost blew herself. She couldn't have blatantly said, oh, I know all your names from an anime. Mitsuri, yes, Mitsuri told me all your names this morning. Oh, Mitsuri is a nice girl. Hopefully she didn't say anything bad about me. Shinobu chuckles to herself. Wait, is that blood? Shinobu notices the red tissue on the first year's hand. I accidentally cut myself with a knife, Yin explains. Come in then. We're got clean the cut and bandaged up before it gets infected. Shinobu leads Yin into the nurse's office. Obanai, are you? Shinobu looks behind Yin. He's already walking off in the opposite direction. Going to come in? Forget about him. Let's go, Yin. But I didn't get to thank Obanai. Yin's eyes dropped. Shinobu was a little taken aback. She's never met anyone who isn't a part of the Hashira friend group who's ever taken any sort of liking to Obanai. He's always harsh and cold to those even in the Hashira group. So, to think an outsider would want to become friends with him. Thank you, Obanai. Shinobu flinches at the loud shouting. Obanai doesn't stop walking once hearing Yin's thank you. Yin heads in, following Shinobu, who is insert. I think they're supposed to be interested in the strange girl. The two enter the office as Shinobu helps clean the cut. Here you go. Shinobu smiles, finishing the bandaging on Yin's left finger. The school bell goes off indicating that it was break time. Shinobu goes up with a soft smile. Let's go meet up with the others. I'll ask my sister if I could go on break. Your sister? Yen repeats. She's the school nurse, and I'm the nurse's assistant. Shinobu answers before walking off to find her sister. With Shinobu looking for her sister, Yen's eyes felt heavy. As her head slowly fell backwards onto the soft pillow. If I fell asleep now, I'll finally wake up from this strange dream, Yen tells herself. I can finally go home. Moments go by and Shinobu returns, jogging back into the office. Sorry if that took a little while. Yen, let's go. Shinobu stops mid-sentence when she sees the adorable Yen curled up, napping. She breaks into a soft smile. Look, we can go meet the others later. Shinobu pulls out her phone, texting the group chat that Yen was currently napping in the nurse's office. Obanai's POV. Thank you, Obanai. Annoying, I muttered, staring straight ahead, ignoring how loud that girl was. Everyone going out of their way to help some random first year? What is wrong with them? Was because they were nice, friendly, then I'm forced to waste my time and energy to take her to the nurse's office? Who does she think she is? They're pretty. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to say sorry again. Fuck. I didn't mean to apologize again. Really annoying.